About to run through the season 4 recap here, man. Just looking back on the year, bro. Like it was a crazy year, it was an insane year, coming off a Super Bowl victory in season 3. I'm just gonna go ahead and get to the schedule here, just so I can, get this all queued up and stuff. But 0-4 in the preseason, yeah, that's lovely. I'm pretty sure that would never happen to a Super Bowl team. But we started the season off, bro, with probably the toughest 4 games. Um, known to man, to be honest, because the Chargers, season 1 and season 2, I believe, made. I think they won the division, if I'm not mistaken. They also, made some pretty deep playoff runs, and we came in week 1 and we took a loss by 3 in overtime. That's coming off a Super Bowl victory, which is insane. But our team played well. It's just good user versus good user, bro. You never know what's gonna happen. It's a 50-50 chance you win or lose. Um, moving on to week 2 against the Dolphins. This is the team we had played um, in the AFC Championship game the season before to get to the Super Bowl. And this was a hard-fought game, bro. 8-point win. It's always good to get close victories, especially coming off a close loss. That builds character. That builds, like you built that clutch factor in when you play in a lot of close games, bro. Right here, week 3. As you can see, this game was played twice. We had a disconnect where I was up, I think, 17 or something like that. I was up 17. He didn't want to give me my points back, and I was like, bro, you know what? I'm just going to trash you, bro. And I'll never forget that because I came in with cruel intentions in this game, bro. I literally came out and I was running everything that I knew would work with against his defense, and I did not care if it was called cheese or not. I didn't. Um, because at the end of the day, when I was up 17, you should have just gave me those points back. But moving on. We get the dub there, and we finished the that 4 game stretch against the team that we played in the Super Bowl. Now, it was a blowout in the Super Bowl as well, but this one was a little bit worse. Coming off the Super Bowl victory, taking a loss in Week 1, getting 2 wins against teams that are really good teams, and then putting up 56-10 victory against the team you played in the Super Bowl was pretty fucking dope. Now, the middle of the season was more so like just playing average or slightly above average teams. Um, this is the game that caused a lot of controversy throughout the season, where I scored 66 points. We just advanced to the next stage here. Scored 66 points against the team. He complained about me running up the score. When in all actuality, in week 5, he had scored 70, and then lost by 50 plus, and he was a little butthurt about it. But it is what it is, man. And this is the team that he actually scored 70 against. So week 5 and week 7, between week 5 and week 7, the Bills have given up 140 points. That's fucking insane. But he took his L like a man. You know what I mean? Like it just is what it is. Took the bye week, and we came back, and we had to face probably the best front 7 in the league. It's no secret. Um, the Steelers user has been, building a dynasty as far as that linebacking core. When you think of the players that's in that front 7, you got Miles Jack, Ryan Shazier, Bud Dupree, Khalil Mack, and T.J. Watt. Now, that's fucking unfair, bro. Like, that's just fucking unfair. But we got the dub here, even though we threw, I think, 3 picks or 4 picks in this game. When we typically lead the league, or at least in the top 3, top 5 in QBR, but we threw 4 picks in this game just because the linebackers are just insanely athletic. Um, and then at this point, bro, week 10, this is when we first ran into the Broncos this year. Um, Lost by 2 scores, more than 2 scores. But one of those scores were late. The game was closer than what the score really predicts. But at that point, he was undefeated, and I found out why. Like he had played me tough in the 3 seasons prior to this, but this year he had actually come into his own. He pretty much should have went undefeated, but he had a sim loss, a fair sim loss at the end of the year. And I don't know what happened in week 17, but he ended up being 14-2. Um, Buccaneers, again, another average to slightly above average user. Saints, Patriots. Patriots was actually one of the top teams in the first 2 or 3 seasons, but we got the dub against him after his team started to age. And it wasn't really built particularly well as far as his roster, but like he still won games. But this was definitely a down year, but we took advantage of that with a 32-15 victory. Now, The first two seasons, Raiders ran the division. Raiders and Chargers were the top two teams in the division. Um, but the Raiders have not won a game against me since season two. He's been swept 2 years in a row. Um, so yeah, there's that. 45-7. Our second meeting with the Broncos, bro. Week 15. I knew I needed this win. Um, I had a feeling I knew I was going to make the playoffs, regardless, because I believe up to that point I only had one loss. No, two losses. Um, I knew I was going to make the playoffs, regardless, but I definitely wanted to try to get home field advantage because I didn't want to end up playing a playoff game in an open, like an open stadium like Denver, where you would play in the snow. That doesn't bode well for my offense. But we actually took a L here, lost by 10. It was another close game, bro. Like that's just the way it is in the AFC West, man. The top teams in here are the top teams in the league, and if you can compete with those guys, you can compete with anybody. Right here, we get a forced win against the Raiders in Week 16. At that point, I think he was maybe tanking, but it is what it is. He wasn't available. I was got the force, and then Week 17, schedule conflict. Fair sim took a loss, right? We go over to the playoffs, bro. This is where shit gets interesting. That same team that I only beat by 10 in the regular season, beat them by 53 points here. I believe that was like 13 sacks, some crazy shit like that. Played the Titans, who was actually had an MVP halfback and a wide receiver that's definitely on the same level as far as production with Tyreek Hill. And I'll show you all the stats in a second, but I just wanted to get all the scheduling out the way. Right here, the Dolphins. This is my third time playing them in the league, and it was one for the ages, bro. Like, this game came down to the final 30 seconds. Of course, I have this. I still have the video on my phone. I'm never gonna delete that shit. That was one of the most satisfying victories, bro. Because with 30 seconds left, 2 timeouts, we moved the ball down the field in 3 plays, 4 touchdowns. That was just one of the dopest games ever. And then here, as you can see on the screen, bro, matched up with the 49ers, the 10-6 49ers in the Super Bowl. Personally, like, I'm not going to say I don't have respect for the NFC, but I just know that the NFC was most likely never going to win a Super Bowl against any of the top AFC teams. That's just what it is, bro. On paper and as far as users, it's just way too many ringers in the AFC. You really only have maybe 2 teams in the NFC that should make it, but that team lost. The Falcons lost. And once they lost, I was like, bro, like, I'm matched up against the Niners. Like, the Niners aren't even built to be a dominant team. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have any star power per se. And the score depicts that 41-3 in the Super Bowl. That's pretty fucking bad. But I'll take my dub, bro. We're going to go out and take a look at some of the stats and some of the player cards here, just because I should have done this a long time ago. I should have done this after the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? But, it is what it is. Taking a look at the stats here, let's go ahead and get down to that. Patrick Mahomes, another MVP caliber season, bro. 22 picks is high, but like I said, we threw 4 in one game. And it was a couple games where we had 2, 3 picks. But for the most part, man, he's a gunslinger, bro, and that's exactly how I use him. I don't really hold no cut cards. I make my reads, but I also try to fit passes in the windows that no other quarterback can fit them into because of that 97 throw power. So there's that. Taking a look at his card here, he's pretty much elite in every level besides deep accuracy. That's coming up this year. I have nothing else to build on him. Play action's high, awareness is high. Everything else is pretty much spot on. Basically, he's gonna be probably at the end of the year, 95 accuracy across the board, most likely. Our halfback, man, Kenneth Dixon, bro, like one of the saviors of my team. The first 2 years, I struggled because I could not run the ball. Kenneth Dixon is so much of an upgrade over Kareem Hunt. It's not even funny, and the numbers aren't really off by that much, but it's just Kenneth Dixon just made the plays, man. As you can see, bro, 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6.3 yards a carry, only 1 fumble. That's fucking clutch. DeAnthony Thomas has been my backup halfback for 2 seasons. After season 2, I got the okay to go ahead and move him from wide receiver to halfback just because of my struggles. and he's a solid, solid return man, solid halfback number two, especially when in third down situations. But when we get to the receiving core, bro, like this is the bread and butter of the team, man. We lost a tight end that had 50 catches, but he'll be replaced. He was getting old, didn't want to pay him big money, so we went on ahead and moved on from him. But when you have these two right here, you don't need anybody else to really get targets. Those guys are like checkdowns. You know what I mean? Your first read is Tyreek Hill, your second read is Hassan Brooks, and your third read is your checkdown, so your halfback or tight end. For the most part, Laquan Treadwell was he was our wide receiver too for a couple seasons, and it took forever to develop him, bro. It took forever to develop. When I got him, he was a 71 overall. I mean, look at him now. He's a solid number two receiver on any team. Um, but he's wide receiver number three here because of Tyreek Hill and his explosive ability. It forces people to either A, stop Tyreek Hill, and there's only a couple ways you can do that, or B, let Hassan Brooks eat you alive because you're doubling Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things, man. Like, and this is probably the, can't say he's the best overall, but he is definitely top two, top three of players I've drafted and developed and put up numbers with. There's guys that are developed that just are good players and they don't give up stuff, or they're just good players that have a niche role. But this guy is a do-it-all receiver. Primarily used as a possession guy this year. 103 catches, 1,400 yards, 19 TDs. Led the team in catches and touchdowns. Obviously, Tyreek Hill led in yards. His role is to take the top off. That's simple and plain. 97 speed, along with that 97 throw power, just cannot be denied, bro. It's simple. Simple. Don't press him. Don't press him ever. Out of the backfield, Kenneth Dixon gets 2 touchdowns, 220 yards. Like I said, DeAnthony Thomas, solid. As far as receptions, we did just sign Trey Burton, so that's going to be our starting tight end. But yeah. As a matter of fact, let's go back in here, bro. Let's look at the defensive stats. Defense wins championships, right? This guy was just signed. He was formerly of the Broncos. You can see his numbers there. He's definitely going to be playing that same role for us. But as far as our defense go, our defense lives and dies off of sacks and pressures. As you can see, we have 4 guys above 10 sacks. Tano Passanio missed time. Marshall Stevenson, our first round pick, 32nd overall, missed considerable amount of time. I think he missed 6 games. But he still came up with 13 sacks as a rookie, which is pretty fucking good. Chris Jones, playing in that new role, playing the 3 technique, has finally got, he's gotten past 10 sacks, which is the first time he's done that in his career. And then Malcolm Baker, first year starter, first year baller, 15 sacks on the year. Yeah, man, our defense was definitely balling out. We have a free safety here with 8.5 sacks as well. Now, if you look at how, and this just goes to show you that I do switch my schemes up year to year, depending on personnel and stuff like that. But Swilling played more so in the box because, well, let me just put it this way. His second year, he played a free safety position. His third year, he was played more so in the box because at that point, I had to mask the flaw of my defense, which was Eric Berry. He was the weak link. Even though he was still like 95 zone coverage, he was down to like 83 speed. It just really couldn't cover guys in space. So I had to keep him in either a deep blue or a deep middle zone. So it is what it is. This guy, his numbers dipped, but he still has 8.5 sacks playing as a box safety. That's pretty fucking dope. 15 pass deflections as well, 4 forced fumbles, a couple of those come on sacks. But he doesn't make the Pro Bowl this season. But it is what it is. We got what we needed to get out of that Pro Bowl season in his second year. Who else did I want to highlight here? Matt Judon, brought in as a free agent last season. Involved out 7.5 sacks in relief of Tano Passanio. And speaking of Tano Passanio, this guy's a fucking baller, bro. He is phenomenal at getting pressure. His size and speed and athletic ability is pretty much second to none. At DN, He can play outside linebacker and DN. I had him at outside linebacker. Didn't really like it that much. But when I kicked him inside to DN, he balled out, bro. Got him up to 91 power move. That 85 excel, 79 speed combo is pretty fucking deadly. If he's one-on-one, which is how I typically have him, if he's one-on-one with a guard, night-night. Um, Interceptions. You know who's leading the team in interceptions, bro? It's definitely Marcus Peters. Peters is a fucking anomaly, bro. He's a fucking unicorn, son. The best corner in the league. Number one ranked corner in the league based on overall. After I got him to like 98 man zone press play rec awareness, I just started upgrading catching, bro. He's at 91 catching. So he's going to jump every route, and he's going to catch everything that you throw to him. So as long as I don't have swat ball on, yeah, he's that guy. He's getting that pick. Ikemi Oligwe, robbed of a Pro Bowl, man. Look at his numbers, bro. And this is a guy. This is a first-year starter as well. He played a couple snaps this entire season. He did not play, and it wasn't because of injury. It was just because I had Reggie Ragland as my starter, and nobody got injured at middle linebacker this year. So that was pretty fucking dope. Ikemi Oligwe, first-year starter, and the final year of his contract. He definitely got the bag, bro. Definitely paid him because 83 tackles, 7 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, and 9 picks, along with 4 pass deflections and a forced fumble and 2 fumble recoveries and 4 touchdowns. Is definitely baller material, bro. Unfortunately, though, for him, he did not make the Pro Bowl. Did not win any awards. Did not make the Pro Bowl. Biggest fucking snub in the history of fucking snubs, bro. Like that. It just goes without saying, man. As far as the rest of the team, I'll tell y'all something funny. Near the trade deadline last year, well, in season 4, I actually put Terrence Mitchell on the block. Now, I put him on the block because, 1, he was in his final year of his contract. 2, I knew he would be regressing after the season, so like this is what he looks like after regression. I put him on the block. I got a trade partner for a future second round pick, which typically grades out as a third round pick, you know, in the current year. And it was denied, man. Like, and they was like, oh, you need to add more value, or don't take a second, take a third. I was just like, nah, I'm not. I'm not gonna sell myself short on a player that I know is still gonna be elite next season and the season after that. Because even with regression, bro, even when you get -2, he's gonna be 88 acceleration and 91 agility next year. He's still gonna be above 91 zone, 91 man. Bro, the numbers do not lie. When you look at what he's able to do with his bum stats or whatever, or he's old, bruh. Just look at the numbers, man. Just look at the numbers. That's 23 picks in 4 seasons with this guy. 23 picks in 4 seasons. Look at the amount of pass deflections. This is people testing him because they don't want to test Peters. He gets a lot of targets. And when you get that many targets and you have 17 pass deflections, 7 picks, 22 pass deflections, 4 picks, you know, like it just goes without saying, man. Like this guy definitely has value, bro. He's failed to make the Pro Bowl every year because of, you know, and interceptions are just inflated because people are bums and don't know how to make reads. But you know, it is what it is, man. Terrence Mitchell is still a baller. He's under contract for this coming season, which is season 5 as well as season 6. And at that point, we'll, you know, be going to, you know, look ahead to adding a new piece. Jamal Wallace, another phenomenal player that's developed nicely into this defense. It doesn't get the most notable numbers. He's not going to have 15 picks in a year, but he is pretty much the prototypical safety, bro. He's not elite in any category besides zone, but he is very, very good at what he does in this defense. LaJarvis Swilling, again, you look at his card, bro, like you can clearly see that he's the guy. A rangy free safety. Just because he's 87 speed, don't sleep on that guy, bro. He's 6'2". That height adds in a factor in deep balls. Trust and believe that shit. 89 jumping, 74 catching, 91 stamina, injury, you know, all the good stuff, man. Mick Wilson, always been a baller for me, man. injury concerns, but you know it is what it is. Amari Carter, he's the new future of the secondary here. That 90 speed, 90 zone coverage combo is going to be mighty, mighty nice, as well as having 76 man, 81 press, so he can actually play in the nickel if I do decide to kick him inside on certain plays, certain formations. 86 jump is solid. 64 catch will be increased, of course, because he's only 24 years old. PJ Potter, guy who started in the playoffs when Terrence Mitchell actually got injured. He's well on his way to becoming the next starter after Terrence Mitchell is gone. His contract is up. When Mitchell's contract is up, pretty much Potter will be ready to step in as a full-time starter. He'll most likely get a long-term contract here soon. And yeah, man, I got pieces in place, bro. Definitely got pieces in place. Here's our first round pick from last year. I'll show you his card. Really just drafted off the athletic ability alone, because we needed a speed rusher. After the departure of D Ford, who had 23 sacks for me one season. So, after seeing how effective he was with that speed, I knew I needed to get another speed guy, and this guy's been developed pretty well. He's got high motor, spin, move, and swim, which cost me a lot, and it took me a long time to get it because he's only normal development. But yeah, he's well on his way, man. By the end of the year, he'll be at that point where he'll beat every left tackle with a speed rush. Um, and I'll start developing that bull rush later. But as far as the premier bull rush guy, you got Tano Passanio, who's great in one-on-one scenarios, and you also have Malcolm Baker, who's really good at one-on-one scenarios. This guy is basically, I kind of tried to mirror his attributes behind Chandler Jones. Now Chandler Jones plays right outside, and Malcolm Baker's playing left outside, but it's pretty much the same concept. You got the speed guy on one side, and you got the bull rush guy on the opposite side. You collapse the pocket, force people to step up into either Passanio, who's one-on-one, or Chris Jones beating a double team because he can do that. As a matter of fact, Chris Jones' card is right here. As you can see, 92 power move, 92 block shed. He's getting off blocks, bro. Period. He's basically designed as the nose tackle of the defense when we're in nickel and dime and stuff like that, so that if he does get double teamed, he can beat those double teams. He's got solid speed at 71 to get to the quarterback right up the middle. You know, just typical stuff, man. You design your guys, design your pass rush the way you like it, and that's pretty much what Madden is all about, or see of him anyway. Like I said, Tano Passanio, 92 power move, 91 without the boost. With that 79 speed and 85 excel, playing inside, he's basically playing like a Tommy Polley. I mean, not Tommy Polley, Tommy Harris role back in that Tampa 2 defense that the Bears used to run. You get him one-on-one with a guard, bro, it's pretty much nothing you can do. He's too fast, too quick, and he does have the power move to beat, blockers one-on-one. Looking at pass deflections, we get a lot of those because most of the time we're playing on a swap ball for our defense, and people like to throw in the coverage, and you can get guys that get their hands up and get tip balls, and let other guys make plays. As far as forced fumbles, we don't force a lot, but we have forced our fair share. Ramik Wilson has blown up a few ball carriers in the hole. Malcolm Baker strip sacks. LaJarvis Swilling in open field, bro. Man, I've seen him make some insane plays. That 87, 88 hit power, as well as his speed, acceleration, strength at 78. He's pretty damn good, and he's got all the traits too. So like, I built my players not only on attributes, I built their traits as well. So he's got big hitter, strip ball, clutch, high motor. That's pretty much all the things that you can possibly have for a DB. But yeah, that's that. Of all those forced fumbles, we have a ton of recoveries. You can just cancel out Kyrie Lynch because he just made it to the team. But we have a ton of recoveries, man. Touchdowns. Did we get any safeties this year? Malcolm Baker got one. Chris Jones should have had one as well, but they robbed me. All the touchdowns, bro. Kimi Aligwe, 4 touchdowns and does not make the Pro Bowl, son. That's insane. Peters with 2. All these guys, bro, like just Just literally all ballers, son. Um, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it, bro. I'm just gonna go over a couple of the new additions on the squad, just because we did advance while I was actually doing this video. It looks like Matt Stafford chose to go to the Falcons. It is what it is. Probably got outbid at the last second there. You know, oh well. Trey Burton right here. He's going to be our new starting tight end. He's not going to be as much of a blocker as Rocket Gilmore was, but we do also have this guy right here who's been on the roster the entire time. Glenn Ogle, pretty solid. 75 run block is decent. And we also have, like I said, Burton, who's going to be the more of a receiving threat with 75 route run, 84 speed. That's a pretty good combo right there. We also have another guy on roster that's pretty decent as well. But this guy's he's been on practice squad for 2 years, but he's decent. He's decent. I think that's pretty much it for this video, bro. Like, actually getting ready to start this draft in probably about another 20, 30 minutes now. About 40 minutes, so yeah, man, look forward to another season in the league, man. It's been a hell of a ride, bro. From going 10-6, missing the playoffs, 11-5, missing the playoffs, to winning back-to-back Super Bowls and being in a position to win a third straight. That's a pretty phenomenal thing, bro. Our team is coming along. Our team is great. I mean, you don't win 2 Super Bowls without being a great team. But it's just things that my team is built for and does well that plays into, how I like to play Madden. Yeah, we built I forgot. How could I forget my big uglies, man? The big uglies, bro. This guy right here. This guy right here. He is the key, bro. He is the key. Until I drafted this man, I could not run the ball. After I drafted him, and insert Kenneth Dixon, the last 2 seasons, man, like you just can't deny it, bro. Can't deny 5.2 a carry, 15 touchdowns, 1,300 yards, 6.3 a carry, 17 touchdowns. You can't deny that, man. Obviously, we always had Eric Fisher at left tackle. Mitch Morse, solid center. Starting to regress, so we're gonna definitely be looking to replace him soon. Maybe not this draft, but next draft. Donovan Smith, hold him in to play right tackle. Actually like him at guard, just because of his 72 speed. He's a good puller. 87 impact block is solid as well, and that 338-pound frame is mauling folks, bro. And then we picked up this guy as well 2 seasons ago, obviously. It's just another mauler, bro. That's no other way to say it. He's just a big body that gets really good push, as well as having Eric Fisher here. He's been the incumbent starter at left tackle, just because, I mean, he's a good left tackle, don't get me wrong. He's not elite in any way anymore, besides agility and acceleration. That's 2 pretty good numbers for a 30-year-old left tackle. But he's also missed a considerable amount of time in the last couple seasons, bro. He missed time every year over the last 3. And we've had the luxury of having Brian Breeland on roster and developing into what should be a starting role, to be honest. Like, if we can find a trade partner for Mr. Fisher here, Breeland is definitely all set and ready to go as the starter of this at left tackle for this team. 91 pass block, 87 run block, 90 impact block. All good numbers, man. 70 agility. That's technically elite. So there's that. We also brought in Cordy Glenn this year, just to add depth, and to have another big body out there when we do decide to go with with the unbalanced line, or run 6 offensive linemen instead of 5 in place of a tight end. But yeah, bro, that's pretty much it for this video, man. That's the entire squad, the entire team. Oh, I forgot about the guy who made the Pro Bowl here, Mr. Kwame Jackson. Yeah, this is my receiver 4. 87 speed, 87 route run, 92 acceleration. Here's the kicker: 95 agility, 87 elusiveness, 91 ball carrier vision. If I could use this guy halfback, bro, I really would. But he's a damn good return man. He's got 65 stiff arm, which is a threshold. 91 juke move, which is elite level. 91 ball carrier vision. He's pretty much all set and ready to go, bro. He's a baller. 30,000 XP just for making the Pro Bowl as a return man this year. So yeah, there's that. If I can find it here, let's see. Nope, it's not there yet. Oh, it's not there anymore. But yeah, 30,000 XP for making the Pro Bowl as a returner. That's pretty much it for this video, bro. Love, peace, and butt grease. I am out.